Punchboard Media,
where we all
bring something
to the table.
Pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.
Party Gamecast will show you what to play, giving you ideas when you don't know what to do or say. Party Gamecast, it's all fun and games, we'll show you new ideas to play. Party Gamecast, having fun is easy when you know what games to play. Party Gamecast, we'll show you what to play, giving you ideas so you can party away.
Hey everybody, it's Bruce here in the editing bay. Just to make a couple of notes to you. I know it's been a while since we put an episode out, so clearly what you're going to hear is from quite a while ago. We also note in this episode that it's the last episode that we are going to do where we are separated, which is not true. We did this episode a very long time ago, and we thought that the lockdown we were going to be fine. So we spent part of the summer just like being okay, and then things got not so great. So the next episode you're going to hear after this, we are separated. After that is actually something we're going to tell you about. We are doing Extra Life again this year. We've done Extra Life a whole bunch of years, and we are doing it yet again. We are doing 2 live events. One of them is in Montgomery County, Maryland. That is going to be an invitation-only affair. If you want to go, contact us, let us know. You're going to have proof of vaccine to be allowed to be there because we're just trying to be safe. There's also going to be a second event at 3 Gear Games. If you were with us in 2019, that's where we were, was 3 Gear. We are going back there. Their event's going to be 10 a.m. to 10 a.m., all of this on the 6th of November. So you got about 2 weeks. If you decide you want to be a part of that, you can feel free to just show up to that one. They're going to be running there at Savage Mill in beautiful Howard County, Maryland. We will be joining them later. Our event is going to run from noon to 10 p.m. in Montgomery County, and then we are going to pack up everything and head over to 3 Gear Games, where we are going to do Board Game the Game Show live. Rocki and I are prepared to present that to everyone. We'll see how that ends up looking, but we feel like it's going to be a pretty decent time. We're also going to have stuff to do karaoke. We're going to have crokinole. We're going to have all kinds of stuff for you to join us and be a part of that. Also, while some part of the cast is going to be together in some sort of version at these events, we are going to play some party games so that we can start talking about our live plays together from that point. We'll still be recording in different places, but we're getting pretty okay at that, I think, as you can hear on Zoom. I think for the future, for a while, we're going to be in separate places doing it over Zoom, so the comedic timing is not going to be exactly what we're known for, but I don't think it's bad. To be honest with you. We'll let you know once we come out of that, but we are going to have some games that we are going to have played with one another. I do believe we're probably going to have game times with each other for a while, hopefully, and I think that will make it so we can present you a wider array of games. But we do say in this multiple times, in a celebratory manner, that this is the last of our shows that we are doing where we're separated, and that is definitely not true. So just as a note to you, that part is not true. Beyond that, once again, you can find us if you want to check out our Extra Life team. Look for the Party Gamecast at extralife.org. You can also join us once again, 2 live events, one in Montgomery County, invitation only. Find us on social media or all of the ways that you can contact us if you want to be a part of that. You must have proof of vaccine, but we'd love to see you. The venue we're going to be in holds, I think they said 130 people. We're going to try and limit our event to 35 so that we can be as safe as we possibly can. There'll be some outside stuff we'll be doing. And then once again, if you're not that worried about it, feel free to go to 3 Gear Games in beautiful Savage Mill, Maryland. They will be doing 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll be doing probably about midnight to 10 a.m.-ish. There, and we'll be doing game shows and stuff like that. So we would love to see you in a safe manner at both venues. Once again, for the invitation event, you must have proof of vaccine. For the 3 Gear event, it is masks required at all times. So just know if you head to those venues, those are the safety measures being taken. Once again, thank you so much for listening. It's been a while. Let's get into the episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Party Gamecast, featuring the Party Gamecast, a podcast about party games and games you take to parties. I'm your moderator, Bruce. Joining me in the show is Rocki.
That's me.
Mike.
That's not her.
It is definitely not her, Mike. You've covered that. Your first question, it was a pop quiz. You got it right. Bryan.
I'm also someone else.
Everybody is firing on all cylinders. What could possibly mess this up? Hey, Marty.
I'm also Rocki.
Oh no!
There you go.
Marty.
Er,
So
There's
disappointing.
Oh,
I'm
Marty.
having a crisis.
There's only one wrong answer.
And there's only one Rocki.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
God.
it's not. There's two now.
There is
Oh.
not. There's definitely not two. You've
I
definitely
even got my
answered
cat ears
wrong.
on order.
You've broken our streak.
I'll believe that when I see it, Marty.
So welcome to the show, everybody. We are covering a thing today, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
Our game of the show, and I will say, and we'll talk about it when we get there, and I'm sure I feel like Mike will have a lot to say. Never on the show have we so loosely used the word game ever in our days.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just
We've had a
includes
couple of
the food.
activities in the past.
And we've done that thing, and it's a jerk gatekeeper thing where we're like, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe it's really an activity. Maybe it's not a game. Like, this time, I think we can legitimately, potentially have that discussion, but it is game enough for us to talk to you about. We are covering the Japan World Cup. Not soccer, not like a World Cup in Japan.
No,
it's a horse race.
Okay.
We'll explain it when we get there.
And it is not the Olympics. We're not talking about the Olympics.
No.
That has not happened yet.
no.
Not that.
And when this comes out, it may be actively happening. Assume we're positive. Assume we're happy about the Olympics.
Not COVID positive, just positive.
No.
No.
Optimistic.
No.
Yeah. Also, as a note to everybody, in all good theory, this should be the last show that we are doing via Zoom and not playing the games in the same place and having to figure out workarounds. I almost didn't say workarounds. I almost said something else. That we don't have to find workaround. It was real weird. I felt it enter my brain and itch around, and
Nope.
then I stopped it.
Nope.
But then I had to tell you I was thinking about it.
You're thinking about Fridays already?
Yeah, I am thinking about Fridays. And I hope you're enjoying yours. In all good theory, our next episode, we will be back together again. Potentially even, we're definitely going to be playing the games together, potentially making the show together all in the same place. So to all of you that have helped us through with Patreon, I cannot thank you enough. For those of you that have sent us, I know a couple of you out there actually offered to set us up with virtual game accounts so that we could continue to play games on the show. I wanted to find real weird stuff for us to do rather than like just go to Tabletopia, but multi folks out there offered to cover that if we want to do it. And I can't thank all of you enough for your support and for continuing to listen to the show and just kind of being partisans, being a part of the family. It's been a real tough 6 years.
But this time we're just talking about the past year or so.
Yeah. But
It
we
was
finally
only
made it.
Wait, it was only 1 year?
No, it had to be longer than that.
Feels
No.
a lot longer.
There's
Oh,
no
no.
way.
Let's see. I think, a toddler when this whole COVID thing started.
I remember when you used to see people's noses.
You still do that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So the one thing I want to make super clear to everybody out there, because I want us to definitely take a side on this, is we've all been vaccinated. We are all in our post-vaccination period. That's why we're going to be willing to get together. But I really wanted to get this one as one that we did in different places, because I really wanted to sneak this in before we started doing live shows. And the one thing I will note, and once again we'll talk about it more in depth once we get there, is I think this might not necessarily be a party game. I think it may be a rare thing I would call a convention game more than I would call it a party game. But that's just to make you listen to the rest of what we do.
It's just teaser.
It's just a teaser. We don't normally do it. We don't segue. We don't tease. But look at us trying to have a
We
structure.
certainly don't segue.
No, we always tease a good show.
Yeah, and then we never deliver.
One day.
It is now time for that part of the show that I think everybody actually listens to the show for. You know what it's time for?
What? What is it?
My opinion.
No one asked for your opinion, Mike.
Oh.
There goes the
Okay,
optimism.
that's actually, you know what, Mike. Okay, that's actually a lie. We're going to ask for your opinion. Like,
We just
2
don't
minutes.
care.
Several
Multiple
times,
times.
actually.
Yeah, several times, again and again. We're going to ask for your opinion. It's time for what the food.
What the food.
What the food.
What is food?
Baby, don't hurt me. Crunch, crunch. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, crunch, crunch.
And it will be a little bit of crunching today.
Yeah.
No, probably
Yeah,
not.
there will.
Probably not a ton of crunching. There's gonna
I
be a ton
hope
of crunching.
so.
There's going to be so much crunching. So
Yeah, right in the
normally,
microphone.
this would be the point where I would tell you our sponsor for What the Food. But I would now like to hand it over to Rocki because the sponsors now would like Rocki to read the sponsorship. So Rocki, please tell everybody who's sponsored What the Food this episode.
What the Food this episode is sponsored by the Consumer Services Manager at PepsiCo India Holdings Private Limited. P.O. Box, a lot of things. But if you want to email them, you can email them at consumer.feedback@pepsico.com.
That's
And
consumer.feedback.
we might have some feedback for them.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely have feedback.
You know what? They can listen to the show if they want our feedback.
Exactly.
As can you, fair listener.
If what you hear out there, you have feedback about, remember you can contact us, partygamecast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter.
On Twitter.
At Party Gamecast.
Thank you, Rocki. Technically, we're also on Instagram, but you probably shouldn't.
No.
I don't have the grams.
I think
you can also find us on
still
Facebook at Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we have a phone number or
We
something.
technically still have the hotline. I might
It's
decommission the
complicated.
hotline.
Are we not getting any phone calls?
There haven't been a lot, and I
Oh.
understand that everyone's been so busy with all the things they've been doing.
They've been too busy to call us.
Are you too busy to call? Here I am,
I'll
just alone. Ever
Sit
since
here.
I
Rocki.
haven't seen you since holidays last. No one can call. No one can write.
Fine. I'll be fine.
Rocki channeling her mother.
Oh.
So we're about to jump into some chips. Now, the thing I'm going to note is we're going to talk about 3 chips today. It's going to be a chip-to-chip matchup. We're going to go for a main event matchup. And then just an extra chip we're going to revisit in a thing we never thought we would do, or we revisit a chip we had in the past.
Never wanted to do.
No, we never wanted to do it. Rocki, tell us about the chips that are matching up today.
Well, these are all Lay's branded. So, surprise, PepsiCo India Holdings Private Limited owns Lay's in India.
Nice. So what you're saying is the sponsor actually, those are the products we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Why would that ever not match, Bruce?
Sometimes we just get fun sponsorships and we take all the sponsorships we can get. If you would like to give us a sponsorship, remember you can at Patreon at patreon.com, Party Gamecast.
We're still waiting for that pickle sponsorship.
Right.
Grillos.
Sweet Grillos.
Available
people.
at your local Target and
Or
other
dill Grillos
supermarkets.
pickles.
Not a sponsor.
Huh. Anyway, speaking of delicious things, maybe?
Okay.
Lay's Wacky Hot and Sweet Chili is the first one. It has a picture of someone's mouth with their teeth showing and their tongue sticking out in a corner like this.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like this. You can
Can
see
you
it.
see Rocky
Yeah,
on the podcast?
Is
You
it one of
see
those
the
ones
Rocky?
is it one of those ones you're supposed to hold up to your face so it looks like you're doing the thing?
You tell me.
Well, so you practice kissing on the bag.
Huh.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes. Would you like to hear about all 3 or one at a time?
Oh, let's do one at a time.
All right. So let me tell you about Hot and Sweet Chili.
Oh my God, please.
Wacky Smile. Yes.
Rocky,
this
why did you say wacky that way?
is wacky?
You know,
Because
you like whistled. Why'd you say wacky that way?
Because it's spelled WHACKY.
Huh.
Wacky.
Quacky.
Huh.
Wacky. When someone asks for a reason and you have none, a wacky smile gets the job done. Presenting the Lay's Wacky Hot and Sweet Smile. It's hot. It's sweet. It's all the craziness in between. And I'm lightheaded now.
It's hot. It's sweet. It's really hard to beat. It's a
Wacky.
itchy and scratchy show.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Let's see. It has a picture of a potato and a chili and pieces of garlic and I think a cube of sugar on the front, like you do.
Yeah, that's what that looks like.
Yep, that is a sugar cube.
It smells
Wow.
like chips, y'all. Just smells like potato.
I have taken my first bite, and that sugar
Already?
cube is not an
Oh,
unreasonable
I hadn't
thing to
even
put
opened it
on that
yet.
bag.
Yeah, mine doesn't want to open.
Yeah, no, it's getting
Oh, there we go.
a little tough.
There we go.
Yeah, there's almost no smell to these.
Yeah,
There's
they just
almost no
smell
way
like
to open
potato.
this. Okay.
These are something.
Yep, smells like potato chip.
I don't know that these are the sweetest potato chips I've ever eaten, but they sure are in the ballpark.
No, they're living up to their name.
Yeah,
Full heat, full sweet.
yeah. But what's weird is it doesn't. You could sell these to me as a barbecue potato chip, but I would be like, oh, there's something kind of missing. But it's the same sort of flavor profile of hitting you with sweet and then making your tongue tingle a little bit.
Yeah,
There's a little bit of slow burn.
It's not the overwhelming taste of hickory that all American barbecue stuff has, but it's a spicy barbecue without the hickory.
Yeah.
So I was picturing like Thai sweet chili sauce. No, it's sweet and also chili.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like the stuff you get with coconut shrimp.
Yeah, no, it's
Like,
definitely
no.
not that.
Yeah, this is a sugar cube and a chili pepper.
Yeah.
And garlic.
So then, what do you think about this one, Rock?
That could be worse. Oh no, it's okay. It's sweet and spicy. So if you want spicy, I have a feeling if you eat more and more, it'll get spicier and spicier. Because
Maybe.
it's kind of lingering a little bit. Like I'm not, oh, it's so spicy, but I can still tell it's there.
Okay. Would you take it to a party?
Yeah.
Solid, definitive. Good to hear it. Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
Hey, Bruce.
I remember a couple minutes ago, you were like, "Oh, my opinion." And I was like, "No one wants your opinion, Mike." I lied. What do you think about these chips?
I think they're okay. They've got a nice little slow burn that I do think will add if you eat more of them. They're also particularly like crispy. I like that.
Yep.
The ruffled kind of small ruffles, kind of crispy chips. And I don't think that the sweetness is too overwhelming. You definitely taste the chili plenty. So
Yes.
I still like them. I think they're good. And yes, I would take them to a party.
Very good. How about you,
if
Brian?
I could get enough to take to a party.
Well, of course. And now we can actually talk about could you get enough to take to a party, and would there be a party to take them to? So it's a brand new world, Mike.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
What?
How about you, Brian?
I really like them. It's a nice heat to them, more than a lot of times spicy potato chips or snack foods are really not. But they've got a nice little burn to them. Like Mike said, feels like it's going to build.
Yeah.
The sweetness is different, but not off-putting. Like it's different than normal chips, which I like. I don't know. It's overall, it's a good flavor. They're not like my new favorite chips, but I really like them. Looking forward to eating the rest of them.
Very good. Taking it to a party?
Absolutely.
Very good. And how about you, Marty?
Oh, I love these. It's like I like both spicy and sweet stuff, and this hits both. And unlike a lot of American chips, this is like either when you get the sweet and spicy stuff, they're either really sweet or if it's really spicy, they're like a very vinegary. And this is just like a good taste. It's not too sweet, it's not too spicy, but it has a nice kick and it just has a great taste.
And I have to say it only because we've built a brand on it, Marty. Would you take it to a party?
I would take it to a party. It might not make it to the party, but I would definitely take it.
Fair. And I'm going to say, I think I agree with you. It is a very sweet chip, but I do agree with what all of you were saying. It's not so sweet that it's covering up the spicy at all. They're just kind of in concert together. I dig it. I'd take it to a party. I don't know that it'll be my favorite of our matchup, but let's see. Rocki, I'm going to throw to you for the second in our face-off.
All right. Now we have Spanish tomato tango. Ta-da! Is this the tango from Spain? Is that a thing?
I think so. Yeah.
I think
Is
it's a Spanish dance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, why
I want to
not?
make sure we're accurate.
Yeah. Although when I think of a tomato tangoing, the only thing I can think of, take a trip with me, folks, is when the California Raisins were out, they did like
boy.
a 45-minute movie.
I remember it.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that would have been a character that would have been one of the things trying to stop the California Raisins from their Meet the Beatles style success. Like Lick Broccoli, the British broccoli punk rocker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There would have been like a tomato that tangoed. Yeah, no, it feels very on brand for that.
So for our younger listeners, ask your parents who the California Raisins are.
For our even younger listeners, ask your grandparents who the California Raisins are.
And what claymation even was.
Yeah.
So, would you like to know about Lay's Spanish tomato tango?
I
Why?
don't know that I do, but I bet our sponsor would like us to know.
That's true. That's true. It all starts with best quality potatoes picked directly from farms and cooked to crispy perfection. I'd like to interject here. Where else are you getting potatoes from besides a farm?
Oh, you could just dig one up on the side of the road, I guess.
Yeah, wild potatoes. They're free
It
range.
seems much harder.
Yeah, the
Cage
free
free.
range potatoes. Let them
Mars.
roam
Yeah.
free.
Cage-free potatoes.
These are then sprinkled with a fusion of spices and tomato flavor. Bring out your flirty side in style with Lay's Spanish Tomato Tango.
Well, there you go. Is that Spanish tomato tango, or are you just happy to see me?
Oh my.
Just happy to see you.
I'm trying to be flirty.
The front of the bag has a chili pepper, garlic, a tomato, and of course a potato.
Oh my goodness.
Smells like ketchup.
Does
Wow.
smell exactly like ketchup.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
fairly
very
certain
ketchup
that is
smell.
ketchup.
I'm getting spicy ketchup.
I'm
Not
getting like
very spicy
specifically
ketchup.
like the intense flavor from a tomato paste.
Yeah, I'm getting spicy tomato paste.
Okay.
I'm not getting any spice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even really spicy. It's just like it's like ketchup that's not quite as tangy and not quite as sweet.
Yeah, it is seasoned tomato paste.
It's like sun-dried tomato.
Yes.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's go the other way, Marty. How do you feel about this one?
It's okay. I actually like sun-dried tomatoes.
Okay.
I don't know if eating a whole bag full is going to be awesome, but like for the 1 or 2 chips I've had so far, I enjoy it. I'm not sure I bring it to a party though. It's
Okay.
not really exciting.
Okay. And then if we're doing our matchup, which we are, I'm to assume, based on how positive you were about chip number 1 and how not positive you are about chip number 2, that you would give the victory to the wacky hot and sweet.
Oh yeah, hot and sweet definitely gets it.
Very good. How about you, Brian? Tell us about how you feel about this chip and your winner of today's matchup.
I like this one quite a bit too. It has that like intense tomatoey flavor, like a sun-dried tomato or tomato paste, which is different. Usually you get ketchup or just kind of whatever flavored. So I really like that. It's got a nice little some kind of spice to it. It's not hot necessarily, but it's got something going on. So I like it. I would take it to a party, but I do like the sweet and hot better, or hot and sweet, or whatever the other chip.
The
Wacky.
The wacky hot and sweet.
Well, there you go. That's 2 for wacky, hot, and sweet. Mike, how do you feel about this one? What's your winner for the matchup?
I'm not a huge fan of like just tomatoes without much else going on, and I feel like this is mostly letting the tomato flavor take over. There's a little bit of spicing in there, but not a lot. And I mean, they're not horrible, but yeah, I don't feel like it boded well when I opened it up and it smelled exactly like ketchup. So yeah, my feeling is that I don't think I'd take. I mean, I might take these to a party for other people to have, but I wouldn't take them to a party and go, "Oh man, these are great. You should definitely try these." And I would definitely give the win to the wacky hot and sweet
Wacky?
chili.
It's not like this is a tomato tangoing or something else. This is a solo tomato dance.
Yeah, this is
a
definitely
tomato on the dance floor trying to call you over.
Yeah, I'm not being beckoned to the dance floor by this tomato.
Well, I'm going to jump in just to have a differing opinion because I really like this. I think they were both great chips. I think they both should come to a party with you. I think they're both wonderful. I'm going to give the narrow win to the tangoing tomato. That is my favorite of the two, but I'm also a ketchup fan, so I completely understand if you're not the biggest ketchup fan, why that would not be what you would want to do. Rocki.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this one? How do you feel about the matchup?
I very much like this one because it's sweet and it's savory and it's a little bit spicy. I think I would pick the Spanish tomato tango over the wacky hot and sweet chili because the flavor's a little bit more complex and interesting.
And I assume you would take it to a party.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Very good. Well, then at a 3-2 matchup, it appears to be our winner for this episode is the wacky, sweet, and hot and spicy, or whatever. It's
Yes.
Did I get it close, or I don't want to upset the sponsors.
Wacky hot
Wacky.
and sweet chili.
Chili.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we're done. That's it.
So
That
No,
segment
no,
is
there's a
over. Nope.
segment.
No. There was a condition.
The
Nope.
fine folks at PepsiCo,
Oh, no.
Lay's of India,
Oh goodness.
said, hey, we would like you to revisit an old chip on what the food. And we were like, oh, well, of course. There are so many great chips. So, Rocki, tell us what we're talking about for our revisiting a chip.
It all starts with the best quality potatoes picked directly from farms and cooked to crispy perfection. These are then sprinkled with pepper, chilies, and delectable spices to make a truly Indian flavor. Add playful zest to your life with Lay's India's Magic Masala.
Oh no.
Now,
Murr.
if you're a longtime listener of the show, you know, we had these a long time and we were so excited because I would say as a room of folks, we love Indian food. We're like, this is going to be
Oh
fantastic.
goodness, yes.
Yes.
This is going to be wonderful. If you give me Indian spices as a chip, oh my goodness, I'll buy 3. You don't even need to wrap it up. I'll wear it out. And we very much said that we did not like that chip. However, since then, I believe Bryan was not on the show with us at that point, I don't think. Were you?
I was not on that episode. I may have only done
Okay.
1 or 2, but yeah, that wasn't one.
Yeah, it was pretty early.
Yeah. And then Marty also, I think, did not have that chip.
I did not.
So,
Oh, lucky you guys.
Yay!
You get to experience the joy.
So
I do
I
love
don't have
Indian food.
I don't have the bag. I only have the chip because
Oh, that's a
Rocki
pity,
and I are
Bruce,
sharing the
because
same
as I
bag.
recall, the bag was an experience in and
Oh!
of itself.
The bag does not smell as bad as last time.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh,
However, Bruce just ate a chip and reacted pretty strongly.
so
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Here's what I will say. These are definitely better than I remember them being last time.
What
And I
does
think part
India
of it-
have against opening bags?
No idea.
Yeah,
I-
no, this one was a problem for me too.
It still remains a problem for me.
The
Right, it
bags
doesn't
are really-
smell as bad.
No.
It's not intense. It's kind of like very subtle for the smell.
You guys.
Oh,
Oh God!
it
I see
tastes
Mike
the
is-
same.
Mike
It
is still
doesn't
not a
smell
fan.
like much.
It does unload all of its flavor on your face. There's no doubt about that.
This is
Very
a chip that will wax you in the face.
I will say this: the aftertaste is actually pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a controversial opinion.
Okay.
I think I like them now.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't hate them. Like I was
The
just hearing
weird
that.
thing is, like, I didn't like it when I bit into it at all.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
Now I like it that it is not in my mouth anymore.
Yeah, the
But-
aftertaste is pleasant.
Hey,
Um,
Bryan.
Yeah.
What do you think?
They're not bad. The initial taste is a little different, but I don't have that like retch reaction that you guys have.
No.
They taste better as it goes, but initially just kind of almost get like a deviled egg flavor in the beginning or something. Like it's a little
Yeah, I would
sulfury
say-
for some
yeah,
reason.
that is a flavor I hate. Is
I
deviled
only
eggs.
like it specifically with deviled eggs. Otherwise, I generally hate boiled egg flavor.
Yeah, which is
So, yeah.
weird because I feel the same way. I really love deviled eggs, and I'm not a big fan of eggs in other ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say compared to last time it was, and I think it was a different type of chip too. It was a regular Lay's,
It was,
like,
yeah,
chip.
flat one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the chip has helped this. I think I like this. It may just be all the different things we've eaten since then. I have a different palate. than
Oh,
I did then.
buddy.
I
Party
will
Game
say
Cat
that
wants
it
to
does
try.
absolutely punch you
Oh.
in the face when you eat it. At least I think it does. With I guess paprika, maybe.
I'm not sure what it is. It's more
It's
than one
black
thing.
pepper. It's got that kind of black pepper burn to it.
So what does Party Game Cat think?
He's deciding. Hang on. He took it from me. Of course, ran away with it because that's what he does. He sniffed it a bunch. He's trying to decide if it's food still. Hang on. He really wants to eat it, but oh nope, there he goes. He's eating it.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the aftertaste is fantastic. I don't quite have the bad reaction you guys all have to the initial flavor, but it's definitely the least good part.
I think at least for Bruce and Rocki and I, we were all set to. I mean, we were braced.
Yeah, I mean, but like now, as I can think about it, it's that like Bryan was saying, that like deviled egg taste, that like sulfury kind of taste. I think is what was so negative to me last time. And I have to say, I don't know whether it's whether they've changed the spice blend, or it's that the chip takes it better, or what it is. I still don't want to take these to a party at all. But I don't hate them. We'll probably snack on the rest of the bag.
Do we need to
And-
check if these are expired or not?
I've been
Doesn't
looking. I
say.
cannot find anything on the bags.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that Ripley, the party game cat, asked me for one, took it, ate it, did not ask for another.
Have you tried any of the other chips with him now?
No, I think he's done.
Oh.
I think that one did it.
Well, there we go. Now we know how to stop him from eating more chips.
Yeah.
Just give him magic masala.
Yeah, he did eat all of it though.
So Marty is one of the two that did not have it the first time. So you're not tainted by how bad that first bag was. How do you feel about this? Would you take it to a party?
No, I mean, well, it's like if I wanted to see a reaction of people, I would take it and just let them have one chip. But it's one of those things where it's like, to really appreciate it, you got to eat a lot of them.
Yeah.
And so it's not something you can really take to a party.
Fair enough. Mike, you are tainted by last time's
I am
run through with
deeply
it.
tainted, yes.
So how'd you feel this
my.
time? Are you changing anything? Are you taking it to a party?
I would actually. Once you like I'm so torn on this because the initial hit of each chip, and it happens even if you have another one. See, I know Bruce just had another one.
Yep.
And every time it punches you in the mouth again. This time you're a little bit more expecting it, but even so, it's still there and it's still unpleasant when it hits you. And then like after a second or two, you go, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But that's not bad. And it grows on you. It's very strange. And I honestly do not know how to feel about this.
Maybe that's the magic, Mike.
It is a bit of magic, yes.
Yeah, Mike.
Yes?
It's magic, Mike.
Uh,
Hey, Rocki,
hear
so
that
you
silence?
also had him last time.
I did.
How did you feel about it this time? What's changed? Would you take them to a party?
I would take them to a party because they are an experience.
They are an experience.
I think I might like them now, and they're definitely spicier on the back end than the hot and sweet chili, the
Indeed.
wacky ones.
Wacky.
So you
They're
are
so
taking
wacky.
now, Brian. You were the other person that did not have them the first time, so you don't have the bad experience we had round number 1 with them. Tell us how you feel. Would you take them to a party?
I do kind of like them. Like I said, the initial hit's not the best part, but the aftertaste is great. So I think I would take them to a party. Although I'm aware that apparently everyone else has a slightly different opinion than me, so I'd be prepared to watch the fun.
Nice.
You know, of everyone retching wondering
I
why they
think
invited me.
that's half the fun is just watching people's reactions. And then if you watch them for a little while after that initial reaction, because it changes so much.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I just I don't get that reaction. So I don't I like them. They're not my favorite of the 3, but that aftertaste is fantastic.
Well, there you go. So Brian taking him to the party. Yeah, I do definitely believe that there's a different taste in the front and the back. It's just how strongly you are affected by it. But, I agree with you. It is a much better chip than I remember it being last time. And maybe the 2 different flavors are, in fact, the magic.
Ta-da.
So once again, thank you so much to our sponsor, Rocki. If you'd be kind enough to thank our sponsor again.
Thank you so much to the Consumer Services Manager at PepsiCo India Holdings Private Limited.
At P.O. Box, a lot of things.
Oh,
In
so many
Haryana,
things.
India.
Yeah. Don't forget phase -1.
Oh my goodness! Thank you for taking care of that for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's what I'm here for.
Don't leave off the phase -1. It won't get there without that.
Oh yeah, no, there's no way. It doesn't matter how many times you try to send it; it will not work if you do not do that.
Nah.
So we're about to enter the main meat of the show. We want to thank our sponsor for the show, Power to the Meeple at powertothemeeple.com. Mike is giving you the, I don't want to say he's like giving you the fist. That doesn't sound right, but he's,
I'm giving you the power to the meeple fist.
give you the Power to the Meeple symbol. Great prices. They help out a ton of shows like ours. They help out the Spiel Foundation. The Spiel Foundation, a not-for-profit that helps all kinds of organizations all over the country and starting to help out organizations all over the world. So if you're looking for great prices and you want to help a whole bunch of folks, check out Power to the Meeple at powertothemeeple.com. I will note, and this always bites us because we make these shows like a month and a half before we put them out in a good world. But apparently Spartacus, A Game of Blood and Treachery is coming back. Which I didn't realize. It was out of print for a while, and for a little while it became, I have to look at it on my shelf, WWE Superstar Showdown.
Oh my.
Which it did for a while. I was really hoping they would make more of that game, and they did not. That one just, It was wrestling, and then it immediately stopped about as fast as it started.
So was this original theming, the Spartacus theming, based on the TV series, the Spartacus thing?
Absolutely.
Huh. Okay.
It sure was. It was, and looking at it now, I'm not sure that it's based on the TV show anymore. I think it might be running its own way.
Okay. I don't think that's still in the zeitgeist as much. I don't think people remember that show as much. It's certainly not current.
Oh, goodness knows. Oh, my word. Yeah. So I think they might be doing the same game. I know they did it before. I believe it had an expansion. So I think they might be just doing it now. But they just removed probably all of the licensed pictures that they had. Unless I misunderstand and they, in fact, are doing it based on the show again. I don't know. But I do remember it being a good game, and I really liked it as Superstar SmackDown because I'm a wrestling nerd, and that's a thing I like. So there you go. So we're about to head into the main body of the show, and we are going to talk about, and I think, does anybody else want to cover this, or do we just leave this one to me?
You have to do this one.
Yeah, I feel like your voice is perfect for this particular product.
Yeah.
Let's put
We
it
wouldn't
that
want
way.
to take that away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
This is your baby.
Yeah, this one's mine. Normally, just to let you behind the curtain a little bit, as we do these, because I talk a lot in the show, is we try to make sure that somebody else kind of tells you about the game and covers it. And normally it doesn't really matter. Somebody will be a little more passionate about it than the rest of us, and they'll be the one to run off and explain it. This one, there's so much going on, y'all. So let's first explain to you that this is an entire game, in quotation marks, not to be a jerk about it, I think you're going to find out, that is sponsored by the Japan Racing Association. And that's real. There really is a horse race called the Japan World Cup. And it's, from what I understand, the research I've done, it's sort of the Japanese equivalent of like the Kentucky Derby. Where it is a very real race that is important in Japan and for Japanese thoroughbred racing. But they decided they wanted to kind of stretch their legs a little bit and get a little more attention on the race. So they hired a company to make a website where essentially you could sort of play a video horse race. And you'd show up, you'd make some random guesses on who you thought would win, and then you'd watch a little video about how it went. And the company is called Cinema Kiba that made these. And at some point, the Western world figured out this existed, and so many people went to go play it that it crashed the website. And apparently that was a continual thing of it crashing the website. So finally they made DVDs. And that is what we're looking at, these DVDs.
Or did, 20 years ago.
Yeah, they are from 2012, year of our Lord 2012. I believe they're actually still printed, but the copyright date on the back is, in fact, 2012. There are 3 collections, Japan World Cup 1, 2, and 3, named very logically. We have all of them.
Because of course we do.
Yeah.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
What happens if you try and put that in a regular DVD player?
Oh, I was about to let the fine folks know. If you attempt to put that into a
Whoa.
regular DVD player in the U.S., if it's a regular DVD player in Japan, it'll be fine. But if you attempt to put it into a regular DVD player here in the United States of America, it will tell you no. You will just get the Ghostbuster symbol, and it will spit it back out at you.
I ain't afraid of no DVD.
Oh, it's afraid of you, though, Mike. So if you try and pop this into your PlayStation is going to solidly Dikembe Mutombo it right back at you.
So it's going to start giving an interview and then just break up in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's going to swat it. Not today, and it's going to give you the finger, and then it's going to do an interview where just it screams part of the way through.
No.
No. So not only do you have to get these DVDs imported from Japan, now you can get them on actual like Amazon in the US, but they're definitely Japanese imports, and you're going to pay for that to get them from Japan. Then once you have them, you must then get a Region 0 DVD player that will allow you to play said discs. So there's a lot you have to do. Once you've done all that, 93% of everything in them is in Japanese. There are random English words that I'm going to guess there just isn't a Japanese word for, like steeplechase.
Which, okay, but Also, box. I'm pretty sure the Japanese have a word for box.
I feel like that. Well, I think that's one of the races is the box race. But one of the races, the steeplechase, is the steeplechase ? Box steeplechase, and it said ? Box, which is weird because another race there was a box in, and it used a Japanese word that I'm sure means box. I don't know. I don't get why they pick what they do when they do for these races. But all of these races are pure absurdism. Almost every race begins with average Japanese horse, and then it comes off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
So if I may, I'm gonna start with Rocki.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the horses, and especially tell us about some favorites.
I like a lot of the ones that are just a barrel where it's clearly two pairs of human legs underneath. Those are pretty fun. Yeah. There's a Komodo dragon. That's always fun. There is an elephant that is pretending it's a horse by putting a horse head on its trunk and just running with its trunk up in the air. What else we got? We have a lot.
There's also the French, I have to guess dominatrix, I think is how we're going to have to say it, because they're in like masks. Everybody is in like garter belts and they're whipping things.
And
we should say, when he says French, when they introduce them, there is a banner across the bottom that has some names, and then there's a flag. So it tells you where they're from. We're not just guessing that. Well, in some cases, we're guessing at it because we didn't recognize all the flags.
Yeah, we are not assigning, in a lot of cases, they have a country. We are not assigning strange countries to them. Are there any that stuck out to you, Mike?
I liked that there were several box creations. There was like the box robot with that was just a bunch of people in a box costume of a horse robot thing running down the track. There were several pantomime horses, which I always bet on. There was the tortoise.
Yes. I believe it came from Galapagos.
I assume. We did not recognize that flag. And they probably said the name of the country, but they said it in Japanese, and that didn't help us.
Yeah, and as a thing note, everything's in Japanese, and from all the reviews that I've seen, the Japanese commentary, if you speak Japanese, is hilarious. Apparently, they did a really good job of being a deadpan race call and also very absurdist in what they were talking about. So I've heard in a lot of reviews, they're like, oh, if you speak Japanese, this is amazing. I don't. So it's just someone yelling Japanese and then me trying to yell English to call over Japanese to still make it seem like a horse race. Bryan, are there any of them that stuck out to you of these ridiculous horses that we experienced over 7 races?
The Trojan horse was pretty great.
Yeah.
It was gigantic. And I liked the Princess Sparkle horse. Just because. I mean,
yes, because there was one whole race. One of them is the cosplay stakes, where all of the horses are different cosplay. So it's horses dressed as like stereotypical cosplayers.
Yeah, and one of them was like a Barbie princess or something, and when it ran, it just was surrounded by little sparkles, and it was great.
I can only hope that I'm doing justice to what we're talking about here.
You can't. No one could.
And I would say if you get a chance, check it out. So let's talk first a little bit about the technology. We've said that it's DVDs. So essentially what happens is once you can get through the Japanese, you'll find out there are multiple ways to watch the particular races. But there isn't just one race. Each of these has at least every horse as a winner, and now you see how the game works. So what you do is this, is you show everybody the opening of the race when they're showing you all of the horses. They do the paddock and let you see all of the horses as they start to enter the gates. You then stop the tape and let everybody, and I say stop the tape, which is an even older reference, but I think appropriate to what we're doing here.
You pause the DVD.
You pause the DVD and hope that you don't pause it for too long or the bouncing DVD thing comes up.
Or you do hope it stays paused too long.
Yeah.
The bouncing DVD.
We watched that for a good 15 minutes.
Yeah. So then you let everybody make guesses on what horse they think is going to win. The beauty is no one knows because it's picked a different track on the DVD. The first half of the race is always the same. The second half of the race could be one of multitude of options. And depending on which of the races you've picked, there are between 5 and I think for number 3, which is a 1-race game, but I think it has something like 15 different endings to it. So you do not know what is going to happen. It is stunning. And this is why I would say, I think if anything, it is a convention game more than anything else. Because I think this is fun to watch by yourself as a fun little video you snicker at. And it's fun with a group of friends like we are to just kind of yell at the screen and let yourself get into it.
Don't tell people that.
Say it again?
Don't tell people we're friends.
Oh, come on. They know we gave up we broke kayfabe a long time ago for that. I think if you did this in a room with 75 people, this thing all of a sudden really shines into pure madness.
And now you know what Bruce's next convention idea is.
Yep.
Exactly. If you're out there and you'd like to play this at a convention, so let's go through it. How do you feel about this? I'm going to start with you, Mike.
Okay.
So how do you feel about this? Like this whole thing? Did you enjoy it? What did you like? What didn't you? Let's talk about it.
I feel like it's fun to watch, but there are certain tropes it keeps going back to.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that can get a little monotonous after a while.
Okay.
We had only played through. Now we played through 1, 2, and 3. You could sort of see the later ones building on the earlier ones.
Yep.
Even so, there aren't a whole lot of options. Obviously, there are different winners for each one if you go through it several times, so you're not just watching a video over and over again, or at least not necessarily. Presumably, there's something in the menu system that randomly selects the track.
Yep.
Not that I could understand how you were doing that because all of the menus were in Japanese.
Also true.
But I would say that I can definitely see this having limited replayability. I would see it getting old fairly quickly. I think that you, Bruce, will probably get a lot of enjoyment out of running it.
Yes.
As a game show, a betting sort of thing.
Yep.
And there's some entertainment to be had sort of in the bring your own entertainment category from that. If you're running one of these things as an event, as I guess we can say contestant, someone who's betting, someone who's just playing the game. I wouldn't want to play it too many times.
So then let me propose this scenario because I want to disagree with you because I just think it's so much fun. But I think everything you said's right. Would this be the kind of game you would play once a year?
Sure. And I would, it's another game that like, it might be fun to play with a new set of people also, just to see other people's reactions and to get that fresh feeling of, oh, this is the sort of amazement that I must have had on my face the first time I saw it, kind of thing.
Yep.
But it's not one that I would want to pull out that often. It's not one that you could play with the same group of friends more than once or twice, I would say.
There are a lot of different endings. I will at least say that.
But they're all sort of similar. Like you can see, for example, the lowrider thing. You see the sort of I'll say evolution of them through the series of games from 1 to 2 to 3. But the lowrider I think was in the first one. It was definitely in the second one and definitely in the third. And by the third one, you could tell what it was going to do as far as like, you don't know if it's going to win or not, but you know it's going to honk its horn. It's going to have the wacky horn call, and it's going to start weaving all over the track. And then something's going to happen, which you don't know, and someone's going to win, which you don't know. But you know what you're going to see, and the wacky part of it is spoiled for you.
So here's what I'll say, Mike. Having seen more of the endings, that you got some especially kind of normal endings there's one ending, and I'll just give it away because whenever it happens. So Mike's favorite horse through this was 2 dudes in a box.
Or 3 dudes in a box.
Or 3 dudes in a box.
In one case.
One of the endings, 3 dudes in a box end up driving a Decatura tractor trailer through the thing, and they stop so that the side can open and a woman does karaoke for almost 2 full minutes. It then wins, and then the announcer that's been announcing the race stops announcing the race and sings karaoke with her, and the whole screen turns into a Japanese karaoke screen where he now spends the next 3 minutes singing Japanese karaoke. There are some really, now I would say both, because I think that's an amazing ending, but I will tell you, once you've seen that once, that joke dies, and that's part of this is it's comedy. So you're really, once you've seen it, you've seen it. I would say they're not all predictable, but the ones that aren't predictable, once you've seen them, you're like, oh, that's the thing that can happen.
You've seen the original joke. You've seen like that, and at least the halfway mark of the race, because that doesn't change. The first half of the race stays the same.
Yes.
And it's like the second half and the ending that changes from race to race.
Yes.
My question is there just one ending per horse? In other words, is there one ending for each winner and that's it? Or are there multiple ways that each horse could win and multiple endings like that?
It depends on the race. In most cases, there's one winning entry for each horse. In Japan Cup 3, there are multiple endings for several of the horses.
Okay.
But I would say
there are 9 horses in that race, so that would be 9 endings. But if there's more than one per,
yeah, I think there's
horse,
16 or 17 endings to that race. Because one of the things you can do is pick the ending you want to see, where you just go in and you say, show me ending number 4, and it will just show you ending number 4.
Okay.
I want to say it's either 15 or 17 endings to that race. And the thing to note about Japan Cup 3, it is by far the most avant-garde and absurd of them, but also the other ones have 3 races each, and Japan Cup 3 only has 1 race, which is the main event, but they spent sort of the extra budget to make more endings for more horses.
yeah, and it's all sort of a CG, like I would say it looks like a product of its time. Like
Yes.
it was not high-end CG for 2012 when it came out. I will say that. It wasn't like, the green outlines of 1984 or whatever, but it was not. It's not like Disney animation by a long shot.
Too true. So I'll move on to you, Rocki. How do you feel about this?
I've seen a bunch of these already because, of course, when Bruce got it, we watched a whole bunch of them because he was very excited, and he had to figure out how the discs work because, in Japanese. So, although that being said, I'm still entertained. Like knowing that some of them, that one's going to stand up and do like a cha-cha dance. That's fine because the ending still changes every time. So even though each horse's shtick, if you would, that doesn't bother me because the endings can be so different. So I don't know. I kind of want to see more.
I agree. I think there's something really cool about it. And I'll ask you to kind of frame it the same way. It sounds like you would even be willing to play it more frequently than Mike would. But how do you feel about this as like a once a year experience with a bunch of people?
I like that. We could turn it into is it the Kentucky Derby where everyone wears a ridiculous hat?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, you're already wearing something. I mean, your
That's true.
headphones.
Yeah, my headphones are cat ears for the listeners at home.
Indeed.
But we could turn it into like a thing.
And I think at some point when this comes out, I would like us to either do it as a Zoom party for as many listeners out there that are listening as want to join us, or we'll just do it on Twitch. But I'm a little afraid of kind of the difference in time. But I think I can set it up so you can probably bet on your phone and get a chance to really experience this and see what we're talking about. And play it in sort of as close to a convention style as we can. So let's move over to Bryan. Bryan, how do you feel about it?
I thought it was fun. I liked the absurdist style of it. Like Mike said, it's not the fanciest of animation, but it doesn't need to be either. I think the animation fits just fine with the like wackiness that it brings to the table.
Yep.
I think I'm a little on Mike's side maybe with the replayability, but I haven't seen all the endings. I think that would be the concern, is if you played it often enough that you saw all the endings, then when the novelty wears off, then maybe it's not as fun. Like you said, playing it once a year, that's going to take forever. We played, I think 9 games today, and that was a lot. That was about as many as I wanted, but it was super fun. I love the like little creative animations they do with them. The wackiness that they'll get. The absurdist part was really fun. So I liked that. I agree. I think it's best for a large group, not like a party group.
Yes.
Like it's fun with 6 or 5 of us, 6 of us, whatever. But yeah, with a big group of like a couple dozen at least, I think it would be a lot more fun. And even more than that would be better. So yeah, I'm kind of on board with both you and Mike on that, I guess. I don't know. I'm in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, I think in my dream scenario, and you've been there with us, Brian, is MagFest.
Yeah, this would work great.
This to me seems like 1:15 in the morning at MagFest with just, like 200 people screaming at the screen with these ridiculous animations. I think at that point, even if you know the endings, you're like, oh, please just give me the karaoke person. Give me the karaoke woman and I win this. Like, I think that could come up and could be really entertaining. Once again, as like a once a year, twice a year kind of thing that you do at whatever your pet convention is.
Yeah, I think the crowd would really make it in that situation.
Yeah. So, Marty, how'd you feel about this one?
So I think I'm the odd one out here where I would not watch this on my own. It is just kind of like that absurdist of kind of like you don't know, like, or even have any clue of what's going to happen, and it's kind of funny. But I loved it, not because of it, but because of the reactions of everyone else here, especially you, Bruce.
Oh.
So this is one of those things where I will watch it and have fun as long as it's fun for other people.
Okay.
But it is definitely them enjoying it that gives me enjoyment, not the thing itself.
Okay, so then I'm going to start with you on our closing question that we've built a whole brand on. Would you take it to a party?
If you're there, yes. If not, no.
Well,
or
good news for
like
you.
you is there.
Good news for you. If it's coming to a party, I'm taking it to a party. How about you, Brian?
No one else has it or the DVD player to play.
Right.
This is a tough one, and I would say, like, for most of the games we play, we normally, as a rule, we try to pick games that are in print. We try to pick games you can get. We try to pick games that are even kind of, we look at price point and try not to pick anything that's, really unreasonably priced, except for this. This is an absolute pain. And if you're not the kind of person that wants to call a horse race in English over top of Japanese horse race callers, this is probably not one you need.
And you're going to have to jump through a bunch of hoops to get it in the first place, even if you are that kind of person.
Yeah, it's not the easiest pickup, but I would say if you're the kind of person that runs events, or maybe you're the kind of person where you're like, oh, I would like to have a British horse race game, and I'm in the U.S., and also I have that one Monopoly that Flip the Table told me to have, so I need a DVD player for that. And also, like, if you're that person, then maybe this would be worth it to you. But I will say, this does break our normal rule of trying to give you a game that's reasonable to acquire. And I would say, even if you like what you hear, use that to say, I would go attend that thing at a convention, unless you're the kind of person that would run that thing at a convention. So, Brian, you taking this to a party?
Same caveat as Marty. If there's a fun host to do it, I'm not doing it myself. But yeah, with you running it, absolutely.
How about you, Mike?
I would not be the one taking this to the party. I wouldn't be the kind of person who, I don't feel like I could run it well enough and make it entertaining enough as a host. And so I certainly wouldn't jump through all the hoops necessary to get it, to get both this and a DVD player capable of playing this at the same time. But I would attend a party where you were running it. And it would I think it would be more entertaining the more people were involved too.
Yep.
I will say this, it's something that we have not mentioned.
Okay.
There's no like 1, 2, and 3 place given here. It's just the winner at the end. So you cannot bet on, the trifecta. You're not betting to place or to show. It's just the winner. We haven't mentioned that before. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
And I'll take it a step further because it's weird when you look at it. So in these 3 DVDs, there are 3 what I call main event races, the Japan Cup 1, 2, and 3. And then on discs 1 and 2, there are 2 kind of undercard races. For the 4 undercard races, there is only a first place. For the 3 main races, there is a first and second.
Yes, there was a second, yeah.
But that's it. So, like, you can't even, and that is definitely to be noted. We played it today pick'em style, where pick the horse that's going to win, and that's the end of the thing.
Yep.
But that's mostly because, like Mike's noting, your hands are tied. You can't make it anything more than that because in some cases, and we didn't see too many of them, there are a lot of scenarios where there's not a second or third place horse. Where just every horse knocks themselves out,
yep,
and one horse is left standing and wins, and that's the whole race. So you can't even figure out. And some of them, the endings happen so fast that you actually have to like wait for the game to tell you or the DVD to tell you who the winner was because you're not quite sure. Because like 2 of them will kind of be like intertwined with each other and then cross the line together. And you're like, what happened? And you're just waiting for the screen to tell you. So yeah, you cannot use this to further tell you whether you want this. You cannot use this as a viable horse betting game if you're doing more than picking first place.
Yeah. This is a pick a winner kind of thing. That's it.
Yeah. And it's definitely something that a lot of people play as a drinking game, where each person takes a horse, and whatever horse wins, you take a shot.
Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness.
That one, I think, would be a viable, if you wanted to do this with 7 friends, and there were 8 of you, and whoever had the winning horse took a shot, that's probably a thing you could do. We, of course, never endorse anything like that.
No,
but it's,
no. It could be a shot of fruit juice, too.
Say it again?
There you go. It could be a shot of fruit juice.
It could be. It could be, and I think you could certainly do that. And I'll move to you, Rock.
Yes?
Would you take it to a party?
I think I would, depending on the size of the party.
Okay.
If it's, me and 4 friends like we are, I don't know if we're all going to sit there and be as excited as we could be in a large group.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it's a large party, yeah, maybe I would. But definitely for a con, it'd be a great idea.
Yeah. I think that's what this is dying to be. This is dying to be the latest thing a show will let you do at PAX Unplugged.
It wants a cheering crowd is what it wants.
Yeah. And it really it wants you almost to
what it wants? It wants an infield.
Yeah. It does want an infield.
Heck yes.
It desperately wants you to LARP caring about a horse race. That's what it wants to provide you.
If there's anything Bruce loves, it's LARPing.
Goodness knows. But I think in this case, I think that's the acceptable way to say it. If you could approach this LARPing a horse race, where you're like, and I agree, like what Rocki said, wearing the stupid hats.
Oh, yeah.
You've got some way to make your pick'em wagers. You've got to where you really buy in a very reasonable way that this could be. And then this absurdist thing is what happens. I think that's its best life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And once again, I think PAX Unplugged at 11 p.m., MagFest at 1:15 in the morning, BGG Con after midnight. These are all the kind of places where I think you could do this. Gen Con somewhere weird with way too big a screen. And I think it almost requires that you have some kind of a big event. Clearly it doesn't require Gen Con.
Yeah,
but
no, that's a real big event.
Yeah, I would love to see this somewhere where it was on like a minor league baseball jumbotron.
Oh yeah, you would.
Enough people to be worth putting it on a minor league baseball jumbotron. Like,
where it would be particularly good around here? Ripken Stadium.
Yeah,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you get that sort of miniature version of Camden Yards as it is. It looks real almost. Like the big thing.
That feels like an in-between the inning thing that they would play on the screen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I would say
looks like something they would play like when the party people first got to Preakness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this definitely has that feel of like a pre-Preakness or a Derby or whatever. Yeah, as something like where it comes up on the screen with like wacky music that's like, pick the winner, bwomp, bwomp, bwomp.
It's not the Derby because that's like old hoity-toity. This is Preakness.
That is true.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
lowbrow enough for Preakness.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's something real fascinating in it. As a person that wants to run things like this, that I find incredibly fascinating about it. And that is how I would view it if I were you. Those of you out there, would you take it to a party? Yes, I bought it. I imported them. I got the right DVD player.
At this point, you're invested.
Yeah, at this point, even if I hated it, I've got to double down because I've got so much money. I'm long in this game, and there's not much I can do. But yeah, no, I think there's really something very special here. But I don't know that you should rate it the same way you would a board game. This is not replayable in any standard sense of how you would replay a board game. It's not good for super small crowds unless they're really, really into it. I do think it will work as a drinking game for 7 or 8 people. And then once you get there and you just keep going, I think the bigger number you can get of just absolutely absurd people that want to buy into this and want to buy into this fantasy, I think you really could have an amazing time with it. And I think we will try it as either, and let us know in all the different ways you can reach us, whether we should try this as a Zoom party where we bring everybody in so you can hear everybody scream, or if we should do it as something on Twitch so that random people could find it. I don't know which way to go with it, but I think sometime, I think it's a thing that we need to do. Also, we want to thank, once again, all of you that support us on patreon.com. You are the reason that we can get some of the food that we can get. So we want to thank you so much. We have a few folks who have donated $10 or more. So we want to thank you by name. Mike Cooper, thank you so much for everything you do. You've sent us some stuff, and you'll see it soon, everybody. But we got some amazing popcorn in that I cannot wait for us to try. That's going to be great. We might have to do, thanks to some of the stuff Mike has sent, we might actually have to do like just episodes of just food that we throw up on Patreon, like we've always threatened to do, and like we did before the pandemic. Brian Ganninger, thank you so much for your support. Always appreciated. Jerry Reese, thank you so much for just being down since day one. Jerry Reese has been here. Jerry Reese was the person who got our play with Stephen Bonacore from 100 million years ago.
Oh, yeah.
When we did that.
Day one-ish, man.
Yeah. Absolutely day one-ish.
Day one-ish.
And there you go, wrestling fans. That one was, of course, that one was for you. And also thank you to Stephen Quaid out there helping us. We appreciate it. And once again, thank you to everybody else that takes the time to support us over on patreon.com and makes it so that we can make the show that you're listening to right now. I've been your moderator, Bruce. Joining me in the show has been Rocki.
P.O. Box 27, DLF Quitab Enclave, Phase -1, Gurgram 122002, Haryana.
Mike?
How do I follow that?
I have literally no idea.
Wacky. How about that?
Yeah, wacky. Indeed.
Also remember, all the different ways to reach us, they were earlier in the show.
Sure were. Those
Go back and listen
ways.
to the whole thing again.
Yeah. I was going to.
There'll be a
and then I was
different
like,
ending this time.
We promise.
Brian.
I still don't know how to follow any of that, but bye.
And Marty.
I go by Rocki 2 now.
Oh, yeah.
The Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, man, no, you're not the Rocki where we have to save the rec center. No, you're not. And to all of you out there listening, thank you so much for listening. And there we go.
This is not Rocky 2000, like the Blues
Oh,
Brothers.
man.
Oh, no.
Or what else? Like, oh, goodness. Andre 2000. Well, that'd be Andre 3000. So you'd be Rocky 3000.
I'm okay with that, actually.
Yeah. So you'd
He
be
made a
like
lot of
Rocky.
money.
Yeah. But also
All right.
like, hey, y'all.
All right. Okay, now, fellas.
Yeah, but I can't see Marty doing
Nobody-
that.
Nobody.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that was the somebody you were looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Glad I saved that. Now I can stop the recording. Where'd you go, bud?
there is. The like big pompadour thing that shoots out from the front of their heads and sort of overhangs
Yeah.
like 2 feet in front of their heads.
It reminds me a little bit of, and this is a 0%er for the room maybe, the music video to the song by the Bees, Chicken Payback.
I got that one.
Yeah. It's a bunch of people playing like a fake Dance Dance Revolution in a Japanese arcade, and the guy that comes in is like doing his hair, and it's this horse's hair. So the horse has a pompadour, and then the rider has like the long boy handlebars like you'd see on like the Harley Hogs, like the big choppers, and he's just like laying back on this horse with a pompadour.